Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started so you guys have some time to play around with this if you want. Jacqueline told me to only present for 15 minutes, so here I go. I only gave you 15 minutes for this stuff. We're going to use Evernote today, and all of you already have it installed in your applications, and it's a free program so students have it installed on their laptop already. The big thing is you have to create an account. What might you want to do with Evernote? To me, Evernote, if I could do an analogy, is like a multi-subject notebook or the dreaded zipper binders that they carried in middle school, where you can really keep and organize everything. I started using it with my marketing students just this year, and it's like having an online notebook, and then you can also have individual notes pages, and the nice thing about that is you can tag those pages so they're easily searchable. You can drag stuff right off the web. I'll show you a web clipper, which is an awesome utility that kind of goes hand in hand with Evernote. And basically, the beauty of it is all web-based, so it's accessible everywhere. There's a smartphone app, there's an iPad app, so you can get this information wherever you want. So, and I took these directly off the Evernote site. I just totally cheated and screenshotted, but it keeps everything in sync. So as I update something on my Evernote on my laptop, about every 3.5 minutes it syncs, or I can manually sync it so that it all heads to that web-based site or that cloud, and then I can access that from anywhere. You know, maybe it's, and I'll show you Web Clipper in a minute, saving my favorite web pages. You know, for me, especially when I teach media literacy, I'm always trying to look for that new thing, so I'm always out searching on the web, and I have bookmark after bookmark after bookmark. Well, now I can use Web Clipper, and I can just take a snapshot of that website, and it instantly goes into my Evernote. It allows me to pick, and I'll show you that in just a minute. That's just one of the things you can do with it. Traveling, not that I travel a lot, but what an awesome idea to scan and have all of your travel documents in Evernote. That way it's accessible from your smartphone. If you lose something when you're traveling, you can easily get back to that and have everything that you need. There's also a huge share capability with this that I will show you. Whether it's individuals taking notes in class, and let's say Ken and I are in the same class, Ken's gone a day and goes, hey, can I get your notes? Absolutely, I can click, email those notes to him. Very nice. Also, I can share as a teacher, and I haven't done this yet, this is my next thing. A lot of times in marketing I use PowerPoints, and it's a lot of information for kids to write down as they're going. So I just like them to absorb and then write down later, so I can actually share my PowerPoints with them. I can share my note or my notebook, either one, and I'll kind of show you that a little bit. So that's kind of in general what the Elephant does. It's a great utility. It works really slick. I played around with it just on a minimal basis, but I love it already. So it's an online web-based notebook. Organize your documents, share easily with our students. Students can share with other students, students can share with you. Clipping from the web is great, and then being able to tag our stuff, and I'll show you that tag piece in a moment, so that you can easily search it. So this summer I had to do training for web design, and you know, cascading style sheets is one of the things we talked about. So anytime we talked about cascading style sheets, I could tag that CSS. Now if I have a question about what I remember I did that training about cascading style sheets, but I'm not just quite sure, I can search on cascading style sheets, and all my notes that have any mention or tag of cascading style sheets show up. So if you're going to a conference, be a great conference organizer. If you're going to multiple sessions, because you can tag those sessions, and then you can always go back and look up what you typed. First steps, it's already installed. You do have to set up an account. It's free. And I'm not going to walk you through setting up an account right now, because I think you can do that as soon as I'm done talking to someone. I'm going to float around and help you. But you do set up an account. It's very easy. You can also add those free apps on your iPhone or your whatever smartphone you use, your iPad. Very simple to do. The students already have the program, but it's very easy to install if they have another machine at home that they want to install it on. Again, it's web-based, so they just install the client, log in with whatever username they created. I think it took us maybe 10 minutes in class to create our users. So the next thing is I'm just going to flip back and forth so that you can look at Evernote. In my doc, it is the green box with a gray elephant. I'm guessing it's the whole memory thing. And as I go in, this is what Evernote looks like. And if you see on the left-hand side, these are all of my notebooks. So I have a notebook for each marketing class, a miscellaneous, my default one, because I wasn't smart, didn't name it Kim Heaney, it was Heaney Swisher's notebook. PL Day, I actually took notes there. Sketch, which is a markup tool that kind of works in coordination with Evernote. I'll show you that in a little bit. But then if you notice, the next section down is tags. So it lists like all the things that I have tagged. Of course, I might be able to get that. There we go. So here are the things that I've tagged. For instance, in marketing, we always talk about the 7 functions. So I tagged that. I have some things tagged BPA. There's my cascading style sheets. But if I click on one of those tags, it'll bring up the items that I have tagged, like the 4 Ps. So they're all the notes that have to do with the 4 Ps. And some of them are just for when we were learning the ASD stuff. I just started typing. Okay, so very easy to do. So let's say that I'm going to create something for, we'll just go for PL. So now I'm in PL Day. This is my notebook. The top right, I'm going to click on New Note. Once I click on New Note, I usually double click to open them up. I can title it. Tags I may want to apply to this. Tech, okay, not really, but I'm just stretching here. Evernote, notebook, whatever your tags, whatever you think you'd want to come back and search to find this stuff. And then I can easily go in and just say, okay, we talked about basics of Evernote, creating an account, blah, 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 whatever I want to type in here. Now, if there's something, let's say that I find that I might want to put on here, and I'm just going to grab random stuff, and this won't be relevant, but this picture, let's say I wanted an image on there, I can drag and drop. If it is an image with text in it, we'll try to do text recognition for you so that can become searchable. So, for example, I took this screenshot of a Sheryl Crow ad for media literacy. So what it does is it analyzes the text within that screenshot. So even though that's a PNG image or a JPEG image, it will go through and try to analyze that text, which I think is pretty cool. So that is creating a note. I can go in, I can change my font sizes, colors, bold, italicize, how I align it. I can attach files, and I'm totally getting ahead of my little PowerPoint, but I'm on a roll now. I can attach everything except video does not work very well. I think 25 meg is the maximum file size, and typically a video is going to be most likely bigger than that. So I have not had very good luck, because I thought, my first thought was this would be an awesome way for students to turn their work in if I share this notebook, but no, it doesn't work. But I can put PDFs. If I want to attach a PDF, if I want to attach a PowerPoint, which is something that I'm going to be trying with my students to share with my students, I can easily go ahead and attach a PowerPoint. Oops, and it's right there. And then I can quick look at that PowerPoint, and it looks good. Although they wouldn't have access to the notes pages, but we don't want to give them absolutely everything. So it's very easy to attach files as well. Questions so far? Are we going too fast, or are you like, this is easy? I'm just going to roll with it. Yes?
When you go to like search for things, will it search the text within the note if you fail to tag it with a certain thing?
I'm pretty sure it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it does. I think that's why it does the text recognition in your images. I think that's why it makes a point to point that out to you. But we can try that in a minute.
Okay.
Syncing goes automatically, and no matter what device I'm using, it can sync. I think the only time you can be in trouble is similar to when you're using a Google Doc. If you have that doc open on more than one machine and you sync, I think it will take your last sync. So for example, if I have my iPad open to a particular notebook and I'm working kind of on the same document at the same time, if I sync on the left and it's blank, I think that would be the last sync. Does that make sense? So it's not going to add 2, but it's going to sync the last the last document. Does that make sense? Rebecca's like sweating back there. Sure.
Sort of.
Whatever you sync last is what's going to stick. So you need to make sure if you have 2 documents open, and if you've typed a lot on one and them all at the same time. But you can sync them from anywhere. Again, automatic, or you can manually sync if you have only worked in it a minute and you want to close out. But it will save it locally. Sharing notes, one of the things you can do is share your notes. And we talked about this, and this just shows the little share corner. So if I go back to Evernote, if I wanted to share this great piece of information with whoever was gone, I can post it to Facebook or Twitter, which I have no idea why you'd want to do that. But more importantly, I can email the note as an attachment, which I could see students using, especially if somebody was absent from class. What a great way to give them. Or you can, copy the URL. It is web-based. So if you put all your notes in here, you could create a link on your Google site or wherever you have kids access your stuff, and they could actually get to those notes if you wanted them to. Okay. Other things you can do is you can share the whole notebook. So if I right-click, I can share this whole notebook. It will ask me, which notebook do I want to share? Let's say I want to start sharing the miscellaneous one, and then I can type in the list of students that I would like to invite to share that with. What they can do.
Can you create groups out of that where you have to type in their individual emails?
You can do multiple email addresses as long as they're separated by commas. So like a lot of times I have my students do a Google form from the get-go, so I have their email address, and then I can just copy and paste those. But you do have to separate by commas.
Was there another option, say public link, when you open that? Yeah, create a public link. So, is that just something you could post on a website or send out to your group?
Yes, I would guess you could just share this link, and there it is. And then you could ask them to join, which would be way easier. Well, it depends if you have, like I always have their email, so it's not a big deal to copy and paste them.
So when students set up their account like we do, it's set up by their email, so that's how it's recognizing.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll show you that here, but I thought it's not hard to do, so yeah. Okay. Oops. Yes.
Do they, if students you're not going to have access to the, or first of all, can you save anything, can you use it without internet access?
Absolutely, and then when you go, the next time you have internet connectivity, it'll ask you if you want to sync.
Okay. And then secondly, you wouldn't be able to probably retrieve anything without internet access.
Correct. That would be, yes.
Because it's all saved on the web, it's not going to be saved on the computer anywhere.
No, not necessarily, because I think you wouldn't be able to get any new information from the web, like if you were sharing. But I think all of your information should be, as long as it was opened while you had web access, you should be able to, well, we could just try that. We'll try that in a minute.
Okay.
I think you can still get your information. I think it's stored locally. I'm sure it's stored locally. Okay, Web Clipper. This is one of the things I really want to show you because this thing amazed me. Web Clipper is an add-on for Firefox, an extension for Chrome, and an extension for Safari. And what that means is a little extra tool, kind of like Download Helper. If you've ever taken any media class, I always show you how to get stuff off the web. So if I go to, we'll just go to KCRG this morning, see what the news is. If I go into Firefox and I want to get a particular story, we'll try to get one that's not so depressing. Let's say that for some reason I need this story for class. What I can do is use Web Clipper. And you'll notice I now have an add-on in my toolbar, little elephants up there. And all I do is I click on the elephant. It will ask me which particular notebook that I would want to put that in. And I'm going to go with miscellaneous. And then I click the article. It does take a few minutes to sync up and get there and then come back. Well, maybe today's going to work really fast. But already that article is now in my Evernote. So if I go to my Evernote on my desktop, theoretically, I should be able to click in miscellaneous. It's not quite there yet. I was playing around, and these are the Ugg boots that I want at Walmart, so I played around with it there, but in a few minutes, there it is. Now that is already into my Evernote.
How do you get the elephant icon into your Firefox?
How do I get that in Firefox? It simply is an add-on. So if you're in Firefox, you go to Tools and select Add-ons. And then on Get Add-ons, all you have to do is search for it. And it's the same for Chrome or Safari. In Chrome and Safari, they're called extensions. And then since I already have, it'll look just like this, Evernote Web Clipper. That is the slickest. I just think, for me, that I found that to be very, very applicable.
Can I ask you a question? When I was on the previous computer, the web clipper works for email too. But for the Apple one, the extension does not clip the emails. Is that correct? Only clips the anything on the web, but not email.
I don't know. I've not tried to clip the email.
Okay. I thought it was a coolest
But
thing.
on a PC, you could do that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay.
Meaning web-based email or your
No,
your
just
Outlook?
emails, that little elephants on your emails tool also when you use the web clipper.
So it's on Outlook. I don't know. I would have never thought to
Okay.
clip an email.
I thought it was
That would you would
same.
probably have. Questions on web clipper? There's also a trunk in Evernote. If you look right at the top, trunk is right here. Trunk is really that, almost that product place where you can find additional products that relate to Evernote. For example, I mentioned Sketch. Lori, as the time really was, she's like, oh, Evernote would be great, but we have so many diagrams that we need students to label in science that we need a way to do that. Sketch is a great way to do that. It's an extra program, it's an app that's free that you can add on, and then it allows you to mark up a document. So you could put your worksheet or your diagram, let's say she's doing the heart, she could have the diagram of the heart with her little lines for what she wants labeled. She could have that sitting in Evernote, and then kids could open that with Sketch, and as she gives notes, they could actually label that diagram. And I think you can create basic shapes, you know, all kinds of different text colors, text size, text font, all of those things. So it's kind of a markup, like to handwrite over the notes. So in Trunk, you can find lots of different utilities that you might want to use. And really it depends on your discipline. Sketch is a great one. Scholar or Scalar, I'm not sure which that is a spreadsheet application that allows you to use the touch screen on your iPad a little bit, if you're interested in that. But trying to allow you to use spreadsheet applications right inside your notes. And then I think it's YAM for meetings, but just allows you to schedule meetings. So and there are hundreds, but again, I thought Evernote was the most prominent thing. And then if you're interested in using Evernote, the Nerdy Teacher blog, he is trying to, this person is trying to solely use Evernote with the students, so he's having them turn work in through Evernote. He's critiquing and marking up their work through Evernote, and then sending it back to them for with the revisions. And there's some good stuff about what's going well with that and what's not working so well. So if you have lots of extra time, you might want to check out the Nerdy Teacher blog, because he's doing some good stuff with Evernote right now. Questions?
On that article, they put the video or what actually play the video?
I would assume so, but. No, I will not.
So it's just a screenshot.
It is just a screenshot of the article.
The web thing, do you have a link there?
Yeah.
The link will be good.
Yeah, you should be able to go to the view site and then
Yeah.
that would link you. If you look in the information tab on Evernote, it would take you back there. But the only bad thing, like with KCRG, is that changes so frequently.
So that might
What
be
the
gone as soon
address
as
is.
they quit playing that article.
Yeah, so that would be doubtful.
On the Evernote toolbar, I noticed a pie chart was in usage. Is there a limit And what is that if there is?
Of course, on the free one, there probably is a usage. It looks like 60 meg.
Per month.
Resets
So
in
it
23
resets.
days. So you must have only able to use that for 23 days, or 25 days, I would guess? Or 30 days, maybe? Or you could go premium for $45 a year.
It's a 60 meg.
It doesn't sound like a lot, does it?
No.
But I haven't put a lot in there either, so.
So we would not have this on our toolbar unless we have gone and added it.
It's in your applications, but it's not on your dock unless you drag it down. Okay? Any other questions?
How do you think it compares to using the Google stuff? What do you do with?
I don't know. I liked it. I thought it would be great for kids just to be able to see. I just liked how you could see all of your notebooks. They were right there. And I think I first started playing around with it because I played around with it a couple years ago. And then Mary Gooncup said, oh, I was talking to some students, and one of the hardest things with the laptops, one of the issues that they're having is they're not sure when to have it out and do notes on the laptop or when they should be handwriting notes. And I was like, well, there's got to be a solution for that that would be a comfortable solution where they could use it in all their classes, have all of their stuff. And I think it's similar to what Nate's thinking, his thinking pattern about, like having one calendar that they go to and find all of their assignments and all of their stuff versus it fragmented for every different teacher. So I think that's what I was thinking. Google, to me, sure, all your stuff's in there, but it's, unless you really take the time to make folders and put it in there, it's a mess when you look at it. And this just seems very logical to me. But it has worked good. And I had my marketing students, like I said before, use it, and they feel very comfortable with it, taking notes. And I'm going to try the sharing of PowerPoints and see how that works. But and we'll try a little sketch to see if that works well also. But
You can work offline. I think that's part for me. You can work Evernote offline too.
and then sync as soon as you have.
And the sync the
access.
moment you become, you're connected, it syncs automatically. So there are times you can access offline also, which is a nice thing.
Kim, if you share things with students, can they edit them themselves in their notebook? And
Yes.
can they share it with other people too?
Mhm. Once they're in their notebook, I think all they can do is copy it to their notebook. It's a good tool. So I was only supposed to talk 15 minutes, so I went over, but now you have just a few minutes if you want to go in and create your account. It should be in your applications already. I would suggest using your email and your same password for consistency.
And I already downloaded the Firefox to download in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, the add-ons are slick. The web clipper is awesome. It's probably my favorite piece of it.